Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to read between the lines of 8K and figure out if the cash in the pocket is good news or just a sign of trouble, smoky foreshadowing the details ahead. So grab your coffee and let's dive in and join the conversation in our Discord link in the description below. If you want the quick hook, this 8K shows a cash handout to top bosses and a patent win alongside a second quarter update that could hint at where the company is headed. Let us connect the dots and see if the headline sounds like a solid road or a detour. First, let's talk about what looks like a simple payroll note, but in a tiny company that matters a lot when you see a cash payment to the boss, and the money is labeled for past services. This is not a typical pay for ongoing work. It's a one-time or backstop kind of settlement, and it raises questions for investors about governance and how the board rewards leadership. This is a cash outlay of $100,000 to the CEO and $70,000 to the CFO, and that is a combined $280,000 cash paid for past services. Moving down the list, we also see the directors got cash for past services too. The board granted $50,000 to Steve Bebaut and $30,000 each to Ford Fay and Sandy Shoemaker. This tells us the governance team is taking a strong step to compensate people who wear multiple hats, including on the board. This adds up to a meaningful amount of money when you add the directors together, and it's another signal about how the company is handling leadership costs. Now let's shift to the big win that guts the boring bits. The European patent grant is a real plus for a small company. Its SOBR check device is likely central to their business, and getting a European patent means they can protect their invention across a big market in Europe. This can matter for licensing deals, for partnerships, or for a stronger stance against copycats. It's a signal that the company has built something that a respected IP authority is backing, and that usually improves investor confidence, even if the current quarter is still unclear on revenue. In addition, the filing notes that there is a press release about the second quarter results. This is important because in small growth companies, the quarterly results can move the stock if the numbers beat or miss expectations. So this second quarter release is a moment to show whether the company is making progress in sales margins or cost control. And it gives investors something concrete to talk about, even if the 8K itself does not lay out all the details. This last block is kind of the legal posture the company takes here. It is saying that this information is furnished, not filed, which in plain terms means it is shared for information, but it is not a formal part of any future 10K filing. This can affect how much weight investors give to these disclosures, but it is still material in practice because the press releases and compensation news directly affect how people view the company's governance and strategy. Now let's connect the dots a bit more. The compensation story shows the board is actively rewarding people, and this can be a positive signal for retention and motivation in a small company, but it can also raise questions about how efficiently cash is being used, especially if the company is not yet reporting strong revenue progress. The patent grant is a real positive. It's an asset, and it can support longer term value creation through licensing or collaboration if the company can translate the patent into actual revenue or lower cost. There are two levers here. So if the IP protects a product, the SOBR device, which could give SOBR Safe a defensible position against rivals second the European patent, opens doors to partnerships and potential upfront payments or ongoing royalties if SOBR Safe can monetize the technology. This is a classic rare asset for a small cap, and it is exactly the kind of thing Buffett might like as a durable moat. If the moat is real and if management can prove they can turn patents into revenue. So of course the numbers in this filing are thin. We do not see any revenue or profit figures in this 8K. The focus is on cash paid for past services and a big patent win plus the next quarter press release. This combination tells us the company is at a pivotal moment. It is showing disciplined restructuring and retention effort while also signaling a potential acceleration in value creation through its IP and quarterly updates. Let me push this a little further with the Buffett style lens, which means we want to know, are the assets paying off? And is the capital being used wisely? The patent grant is a durable asset if they can convert it into licensing deals, or if it helps them win customers, this could justify higher investment. This is a company that might be playing offense by securing IP while also managing cost and leadership. The leadership payments raise a watch out moment because investors will want to see the cash being tied to real performance, and big decisions will matter when the company next releases actual operating metrics. Investors will want to see the cash being tied to real performance, and big decisions will matter when the company next releases actual operating metrics. So now let's place this in the broader context. XBOSS Safe is operating in a space where safety and healthcare products and maybe safety devices for homes and industrial settings can have strong demand if they can prove their product works, and if patent protection blocks rivals the market could reward cautious spending and a clear path to revenue. This is a classic case where the headline win on the patent can be a turning point, but the real test is in the quarter that follows and in follow-up deals or customer wins. Another thing to watch is governance and how the company communicates with investors. The 8K is clear on the fact that the information is furnished and not filed. This is a technical point, but it matters for how investors read the information. The cash compensation to top executives and directors is a signal the board is active and the company is confident enough to commit resources to retain leadership. This is not a tiny number in a small company, but it also is not a blockbuster expense. If the company is growing and has a plan to monetize the patent and grow sales, a quick look at what could go right and what could go wrong. The good side is the patent grant, which protects the core technology, giving the company an edge, and the quarterly results release could show progress in sales and margins. This combination can attract partners and maybe even better terms from suppliers and customers. If they prove the product delivers results, the risk is that without solid revenue growth or a clear plan for revenue growth or cash management, close the numbers, the €280 and $00 paid for past services. And director fees is notable. It is a real cash outlay that should be weighed against any potential lift from the patent and the Q2 release. If those two catalysts can show steady progress, then the numbers can be seen as a smart investment in leadership plus. A forward-looking signal that they are protecting their key asset. The SOBR patent is the highlight here, and the two press releases in this filing point, to a moment when the company is trying to shift from a quiet period into a more visible growth phase. And now let's wrap up with a clear take. The direction here seems to be a blend of governance action and intellectual property leverage. The compensation signals a focus on key people, and the patent grant signals a serious asset that could unlock partnerships and future revenue. The big question is how fast can SOBR Safe turn these moves into actual financial strength, and what will the quarterly numbers look like in the next report if they compare the IP advantage with concrete customer wins. The stock could start to reflect a greener future, if not the cash costs, and the lack of immediate revenue could keep investors cautious. The choice for management is to translate asset and leadership moves into real market gains and to communicate a credible plan to monetize the IP and grow the top line, advertise the IP and grow the top line. Thanks for sticking with me as we peeled back the layers of this 8K and looked beyond the headlines. I want to hear what you think about this mix of cash for past services and a patent victory. Does this look like smart retention and a real asset play, or is it a sign that the company still needs to prove its profitability? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the small cap world. And if you want to be part of the discussion in real time, check out our Discord channel linked in the description below. See you next time. This is our breakdown for SOBR Safe 8K, the payoff from a patent win plus leadership payouts with a second quarter update on the horizon and a bit of governance nuance to think about. Until then, stay curious and keep reading the numbers.